guys. I got the new subframe in. Put the steering rack on, put the sway bar on, and you know, pretty straightforward. We're going to put it back up, so I'm going to lower the lift. We're going to put the subframe up. We're going to bolt it up a little bit, check everything, make sure we got clearance, and then we'll see how far we get if we're going to put the suspension on. So let's do that. So that's out of the way. Now I'm just going to slide the subframe into position so I could use the lift. Down we go. I'm gonna have to go down a little more. All right. Let's see here. Put one side up. This lift was going to make stuff easier. Well, it does, but you know, you're still on your back. You know? All right. If you guys wanted to tackle this without a lift, you could do it. Alright, let's mount this thing up there. Try to. Oh. This is over. don't even think I'm going to put the rubber on there now. Let's just... get this thing lined up. The steering shaft is going to be a pain in the ass. But we'll get it up there. I'm just going to put the couple bolts on the back to hold the subframe up, then I'll swap them individually to put the brace plate on. That's my fault, guys. That's got to go straight up in. Otherwise, it won't fit. Alright, guys. So I'm going to put you on time lapse. We're going to screw all this all in, and then we'll see how far I get tonight. It's a Friday night, and I'm kind of tired, so started working on this after work. And after I get this bolted up, it's just connecting the return hose, the new power steering line up top, and then putting all the new suspension components on, which I have, and I'll put you on time lapse for that. Alright guys, so I said I was going to blaze that back up there, but as you probably know, you have to have the subframe lowered to put the lower control arms in because you can't get the bolts in. So that's what I did. I left it and I just threw the arms in there, and we got to load the suspension with the wheels on before we could tighten all that stuff. So at least I'll be able to bolt that all up there, and then I could just torque it with the suspension down. Guess what I just realized? Those control arms aren't on the right way. The nuts go down. The bolts are on the bottom. Be mindful of that. So I guess that's easy to confuse when you're not looking at you're not taking it off and putting one back on. So I'm going to swap those. Alright guys, that about wraps that up. Put the control arms in, didn't tighten anything until I get the suspension loaded. When you take off the control arm, sometimes the sleeve stays back right here, so I'm going to have to put it, I got a bearing separator here and I'll put it in the press. I'll press these out, then I just got to push them back into the knuckles on both sides. On the forward arms, they came out with the arms, so I'll press those out, I'll put them in there, and we'll get that cinched down once we get it loaded. I got 2 new tie rod ends for both sides. We'll put the sway bar links back on. A little bit of stuff to do, but the new subframe is in. Motor mount's tight. Power steering line is routed. I just got to connect it up there. They gave me new plates with the, or not new, but they gave me plates with the subframes that are better than mine, so I use those. And I put grease on all the bolts. Return line's hooked up. The power steering line is all tight in there, and I don't know if you guys noticed when I put it in, I forgot to mention this, the hard line that goes on the steering rack, not from the pump, but the actual steering rack itself, they go to left and right steering. On the Speed6, one has a banjo bolt fitting on the front side, and I think that's for the driver's side. I could be wrong, but discontinued from Mazda, so I had a part of a good line that was good, or a section of the line that was good. I sanded it all down, I flared it, I put a union in there, and I ran some new piping up to the steering rack, because that was rotted. That would have just blew eventually. So the one on the back, it's coated, it's not rusted, nothing, so not sure why that happened, but I'm going to spray some fluid film all up in this thing. Again, I don't drive it in the snow or anything like that, so it's more of a preserving thing. Try to stop a lot of this. Eventually I'll get to the quarter panels and I'll cut those out and weld the new panels, and I'll paint the bumper that caught on fire. If you guys, I wish I had that on camera. This thing, when I blew the motor, there was a fireball out the back so freaking big, it was unbelievable. It actually melted all the clear coat on the back bumper cover. I do have some paint, but just got to find time to do that stuff. It's a lot of work, doing multiple things. So, alright, so we'll continue on doing the suspension, get that all situated, then I'll get it aligned, and I'm going to spray fluid film all on the bottom like I said, and we'll go from there.